My dear friends, today I would like to talk about the mindset that can help us achieve sustained focus in meditation. What is this mindset, and how do we best shape it for meditation? So these are the sort of questions we're going to be talking around today. Let's explore this question further. According to the published literature, mindset is defined as a set of beliefs that shape how you feel, think, and behave in any given situation. I'll repeat that. Mindset is defined as a set of beliefs that shape how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. So the key words to remember where mindset is concerned is beliefs, think, feel, and behave. When you think of your mindset, it has these four elements. So let's start with the beliefs, okay? And when we meditate for higher spiritual search and growth, what are the possible beliefs that can help govern or guide our search? Because beliefs are a very personal matter, and they can be of a religious nature, or they can be purely spiritual, or even universal and scientific. The choice is yours, because in the end, your beliefs will influence how you think, feel, and behave during your meditation. So let us look at some core beliefs that drive the spiritual search in meditation. And these are of a purely spiritual and universal nature. But you can adopt whatever set of beliefs you subscribe to. It's entirely your choice. And our beliefs, whatever they are best grounded through contemplation prior to meditation. Remember, we simply cannot rush into meditation. We cannot arrive at a place, sit down, and start meditating and expect to have the focus. It doesn't work that way. We need to prepare ourselves for the journey with the best mindset possible. Therefore, contemplation of our beliefs and the purpose of our meditation are a key first step before we embark on our search. So let us contemplate a framework of beliefs. Firstly, our overall goal in meditation is to engage and connect with our soul, a connection that will lead us to the realization of our Creator. And as we contemplate this goal, our mind will automatically begin to dispel all the noisy and irrelevant thoughts, which I call our mental clutter. The next question is, what is the soul? The soul is a mystique that inspires endless questions for the intellect. There's so much literature and philosophical discourses on the soul, and religion, culture, and traditions also offer very diverse perspectives on the soul. And we have all come across them. And spirituality, in my opinion, sums it up with the simplest definition. The soul emerges from its source, and it endows life energy to the physical form. The soul emerges from its source, and it endows life energy to the physical form. Next, what do we have at this moment flowing through our being that keeps us alive? It is our life energy. Our physical form functions because of life energy. Look at your hands, look at your feet, look at your face, look at your entire beautiful body, which is your vehicle for this journey through this material world. It is a perfect physical form, and it is alive, in inverted commas, because of life energy. Now take a few moments and visualize and think about this flow of energy through your body. It's flowing from the universe, from your soul, through your being, entire being, reaching every element of you, and it is constant. And this is what makes you alive. And it is the energy that knows every cell of your body. How well do you know this energy? I would ask. Most of us don't, because we simply assume it is there. We take it for granted. How can every second of your existence be driven by something that you never even pause to think about? This is the question I ask myself. Let us say I've been happily married to my wife for 41 years, living with her day in and day out. How well would I know her? I would say pretty well indeed, and many of you here will agree. So how come I do not know my life energy that I have lived with 24/7 for 66 years? How come I do not know its source, my soul, that I have been with for eternity? Fair questions, right? And we have to ponder this. Why didn't we pause to contemplate all this? With all the education I've been blessed with, why have I not contemplated this question every single day? I believe it is because we all live within the clutter of our minds, consumed by so many low-level and irrelevant thoughts. We occupy ourselves with mundane life subjects like gossip, news, entertainment, and subjects of a very temporary and valueless nature. However, meditation with the correct mindset can change all this. With the belief that our soul is a critical part of our existence here in this material world. So our core belief starts from the fact that the soul is a critical part of our existence here in this material world. This is the first piece of our mindset. When our life energy is switched off, we cease to exist. Plain and simple. So that's another part of our belief. So where do I begin my spiritual search, one may ask? I would say the best way is to go back to the very beginning, to the point where the soul first emerged from its source, the Creator. This is the purest point of the journey of the soul, the point where it first comes into existence. Now, what do I mean by that? My dear friends, we as souls have all emerged from the light of our Creator, our source. How can we comprehend our source in this context? A noteworthy scripture says, "Say he, the Creator is one," i.e. the Creator is oneness, and therefore everything around us that we see, that we don't see, all the universes, and all of us that derive life through our Creator are oneness. So that's the first part. Next, the scripture says, He is absolute, independent, and the origin and source of everything. Now think about absolute. Absolute is like the number 0. If there were no 0, numbers 1, 2, and 3 would not exist. None of us would exist. So the scripture is again showing us that the origin that we are seeking is our absolute source. And so when we go towards our source in meditation, we're going with absolute belief that it's like the number 0, and we only exist because 0 exists. Then the next statement says He has no beginning and no end. So He is ever continuous. So now we're thinking of being in oneness, which is the oneness of our Creator, our origin, and that this origin is ever continuous with no beginning and no end. And then the final statement is that, and He is beyond all imagination, which means He is beyond all human attributes and notions. So when we think of our origin, we cannot imagine our origin. Neither should we try to, because our mind, our human mind, cannot possibly comprehend the magnitude, the infinity, the vastness, the magnanimity of our origin. So we should not try to imagine, because whatever we imagine will be way too mundane and small. We'll be shortchanging ourselves. So each soul emerges from the light of its one ever continuous origin. And at this point of emergence, the soul is brought into existence through the word be. And it comes into being. As we've all heard the phrase, be and it is. So the soul emerges under the command of the word be, and then it is. So once the soul has emerged, then it simply is. Be and it is. Now to understand this better, imagine a circle of light. A circle which has no beginning or no end, just light. And it is continuous. So this is a circle of light that is continuous. When the command be is ordained, the soul emerges like a single ray that is emitted from the circle of light. I think you can visualize that, right? It's circle of light and a ray is emerged when be is ordained. And then that ray remains ever connected to its source, which goes back to the verification of the scripture I just shared with you. So it is not like a spark that separates from its source, as we see in a fire. The spark separates and it goes away. The soul remains ever connected. This ray is like a thread of light that emerges from the circle of light. And that's what the soul is. That's what each one of us is. So, thinking about our beliefs and our mindset, this is another important piece. When we go into meditation, our mindset should be that we are a ray of our soul, and this ray is going to be seeking to come to its origin, to its source. Very important element of the mindset. Now, at this point of emergence, what does the soul know? It only knows the Creator, because it is of the Creator and it has just emerged. One moment it did not exist, so it was non-existent, and the next moment it exists as a ray of its source. So when this soul, which emerges as be, manifests in our world in human form, it continues to be. Our soul continues to be. But it is now aligned with the physical human form. This is why we are all referred to as human beings, because we are being in human form. Basically, we are here as beings in human form, having a human experience. This human form comes with senses and human dimensions of thought, emotions, perceptions, good and bad, kind and cruel, happy and sad, light and dark. The soul embodies none of this. It is pure nothingness, free of any human attributes. A soul is neither good nor bad, neither happy nor sad, neither kind nor cruel. It has no thoughts, no emotion. It has absolutely nothing of a human nature. A soul just is. It is pure. It simply exists with nothing associated with it. We humans exist with a lot associated with us. A soul has nothing associated with it. So these, my dear friends, are some simple yet profound attributes of the soul and life energy that make up our beliefs in our mindset as we prepare for meditation. Now let us return to the definition of mindset. Mindset is defined as a set of beliefs that shape how you think, feel, and behave in a given situation. And here the given situation is your meditation. What we have contemplated so far in the last 5 minutes with respect to the soul makes up our set of beliefs upon which our mindset of meditation can be based. And you can add to your own set of beliefs in this way through contemplation. So this brings us to the think, feel, and behave part. So let us look at some important guiding principles governing that. We start by recognizing that most of us live within the clutter of our mundane mind. We have to step out of our mundane mind and make a clean break from it, so that we can apply all our focus towards the soul and life energy in our meditation. Now, how can we make this clean break, you may ask? We can do so by fully recognizing that when we meditate, we can only focus on thoughts of the present moment, which are thoughts of the higher surge. When I sit in meditation and I am focusing on the soul, the Creator, I'm focusing on my linkage word, which we will talk a bit about in a few moments. That is the only thought present in the present moment. So mental clutter basically comes from thoughts of the past and the future. And our mind will keep throwing them at us, one by one, to derail our focus. Why does the mind do that? Because that is how it trains us, that is how we will learn to build our ability to focus to a level where enlightenment is within reach. Our mind is training us with its irritations. So don't get frustrated with it. You don't have to fight the mind. You don't have to conquer it. You simply have to learn that your meditation only exists in the present. And so you have to shoot, if for example it shoots a ball at you, which is irrelevant, a thought of the present, the past to the future, you simply have to shoot that ball off the court. So your mind is playing tennis with you. If you see that ball coming, you shoot it off the court. And I've shared with you a technique which we have all practiced, which is the one where when we are going into preparing our deeper level of meditation, before stillness, we come to this lake and we have on a tree stump a bird cage, golden bird cage. And the cage is filled with colorful birds chirping away, making a lot of noise. There's a lot of chaos in that cage. And then we open that cage because we let all the birds fly away, because the cage is our mind and the birds are our thoughts. So we let all the birds fly away into the horizon noisily, leaving behind an empty cage, an empty mind. So that's how we empty our mind when we start our meditation and start to go deeper. But during meditation, this technique can also be very helpful, because while you're focused on your linkage word, as soon as a thought of the past or the future enters in your space, you open that cage door and let it out. So we have to be very firm and disciplined about it. We cannot allow any thought of the past or the future to remain in our space. They'll keep entering. Just open the cage and let them go, and that becomes then intuitive. You'll be doing it automatically. And if we make this a regular practice, the interruptive thoughts will come down in number and frequency, allowing us to remain immersed in the present, where our true focus belongs. There was a time when I used to meditate when every minute I'd have to open that door and just let them out. But it stopped being a door, it just became a process. A thought came and I go, you don't belong, off you go. This thought of the future comes, you don't belong, off you go. And then it just became intuitive. And that allowed me to remain focused in the present. Now, having practiced that for so long and had the mindset that I've just shared with you, with my beliefs, and these are universal beliefs, now the number of times I have to open the cage door, few and far between. And this is where we all need to get to with our mindset. So the first point also is that meditation is only about the present. It can only be in the present. You step out of the present and there's no meditation left because your focus is gone. So we have to be disciplined on this position. Stay in the present. That's the first one. Another guiding principle, and there's also a deeper spiritual reason why there should be no material thoughts present when we meditate. Okay? One I've given you is clearing the mind and staying in the present. The other is that it is because the soul has a zero connection with the material realm. Material thoughts are just a noise and interferences that do not belong in the soul's realm. So in the present, when you're engaged with your linkage word or your thought of the Most High, and these things, noise of the material mind come, they're just an interference. They don't belong in that realm. The soul's realm is in that present moment when you are seeking to engage. So as we prepare for meditation, we need to let go of all our material thoughts, because they're just an interference in this empowering process, and the soul will not resonate to any of those thoughts. So that's number 2. Thirdly, the soul, as a ray of its source, exists in nothingness. It has nothingness. It just exists with its source, and it's the ray. Nothingness, my dear friends, is the purest form of humility. Hence, when we meditate in search of the light of our Creator, it must be with absolute humility. If we have absolute humility, we will be able to reach and stay at the level of nothingness. We'll be able to focus to that level. And then we have the best opportunity to realize the soul. Next, there must be zero control of a human nature, because the soul either resonates with your focus or it doesn't. And there is nothing you can do about it. It is your soul that decides on this connection, not you. All you can do is keep trying to focus as best as you can. For that one moment, when the connection occurs, and enlightenment follows. So my dear friends, we control nothing, and that's another guiding principle. And therefore, we should expect absolutely nothing when we meditate. Human expectation does not belong in the spiritual search, because it is of no significance and of zero influence. It simply serves as a source of frustration and misguidance for the seeker. Hence, we should abandon all expectation. That should also be one of the pillars of our mindset. Next, we should not try to imagine or visualize the soul or the Creator, because as I said so earlier, by doing so, we are limiting ourselves to a mundane level. The Creator is beyond human comprehension. So we should avoid imagination and visualization during that final stage of our search, because whatever we imagine is not going to be correct. And what we are seeking is so vast that it requires this mundane mind to be shut down. So no imagination, no visualization, just being present and open to receive. That's another part of our mindset which is core. The sixth one is we must be 100% patient. Progress and success in the spiritual search are beyond the control of the seeker. They are solely in the hands of the soul and the Creator. The seeker is simply the member of an audience in search of the light. It's no different to being a member of the audience in a movie theater, who has zero control or influence over what the movie portrays. The spiritual search is of a similar nature. Seek, be patient, and be grateful for the opportunity to seek. My dear friends, if today we don't experience the light or are unable to focus, then we can pray for another opportunity to try again tomorrow. And that's the mindset we need to have to ultimately achieve that enlightenment we seek. And finally, let us discuss one of the most important aspects of the meditation for the spiritual search, something we call the linkage word. It is a word that we truly believe represents our source, our Creator. It is the name we ascribe to our source. This word is either given to us or we can choose it. Either way, we must truly believe in the word and in the fact that it represents our Creator. So there must be absolute belief in that word, that it is the name of your Creator. This linkage word is extremely important and powerful. Why is this so? My dear friends, during meditation, when we go to zero thought and remain in nothingness, our mind has a chance of perceiving the soul if pure focus is present. Focus that is still, silent, and free of all material thought. As I said earlier, when the soul emerges from its source, what does it know? It only knows its source, its Creator, and nothing else. This is why we need the linkage word. A linkage word is a word we believe as representing our source. And when this linkage word comes forth in our focus, the soul can resonate with it. Why? Because it is a word of the source, and the soul only knows its source. This is why the linkage word is key to experiencing the soul and the light of the Creator. This linkage word is a word of a language that the soul can respond to, because that's where its origin lies. The origin that remains, it remains ever connected with. And this linkage word can come from our faith, beliefs of religion, or can be completely universal in nature. It's a word that you absolutely must believe. Its source depends entirely on your own personal set of beliefs. So my dear friends, during your meditation, after you practice the steps I've shared with you of clearing the mind with the bird cage, reaching stillness, going into pure silence, you can add the fourth step of going back to the point of emergence when the soul first came into existence. This is the point where the soul is as pure and pure can be. It is the perfect place to focus on, where your linkage word can resonate fully with your soul. I've recently released a guided meditation video on YouTube entitled Emergence of the Soul, just a week ago, where I've shared all these steps in an easy manner which you can follow. Please practice, and I've added this fourth step as well, which is going to the point of emergence. So please practice this meditation as often as you can to fully grasp the technique of developing your focus in preparing for the final process of linkage with the soul, the light of the origin, the Creator. The linkage step is a very personal one, where each one of us flows to whatever experiences we are to be blessed with. So today, in summary, we have covered the mindset for meditation. The scope of our beliefs are clear, universal, and we've been through them. And I'll quickly summarize the think, feel, and behave aspects. Firstly, we must prepare for meditation by contemplating the core basis of our beliefs with respect to our spiritual search. Secondly, meditation requires stepping out of our mental clutter, which comes from thoughts of the past and future. Hence, only thoughts of the present can be permitted within our focus. Thirdly, the soul does not resonate with our irrelevant material thoughts. Therefore, clearing the mind before and during meditation is an essential process, I have explained to you the how part with the bird cage. Next, absolute humility must be a core part of our mindset. Next, in our meditation, we must be very clear that we control absolutely nothing. So let it be, and be open to the blessing of the experiences that may follow. Next, we can have absolutely no expectations when we search for the light. It is a process that lies beyond us. It is a grace that we can await in humility. That's an important part of your mindset as well. No expectations. Next, do not try to visualize or imagine the soul or the Creator. They are way beyond human comprehension. So do not limit yourself and your search through imagination born in a mundane mind. No imagination, no visualization, another part of your mindset. Next, patience is a key in meditation. All we need to do is be present and then bring our relationship with time to an end. Time should become irrelevant. If we don't discover today, we look forward to tomorrow's search. That is the patience we need to develop. And finally, our linkage word is the key element of our focus, because our soul does resonate with this word. Focus on this word and surrender completely to the process that follows. So I hope you found today's insight helpful with respect to developing your mindset for meditation. And I would like to conclude with a prayer that you may be blessed with much success at every step of your spiritual search.